WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I'm in Ireland. Prizefight Irish whiskey. But wait, it's special. Finished in American rye barrels. Wow. I'll talk about the picture in a second. Now, this is actually something which is interesting. Floor Pendergast, together with Steve Grasse, had the idea. Steve Grasse, you might know from Hendrick's Gin or Jerry Spiced Rum. They had the idea of taking Irish whiskey and putting it in rye casks and selling it. So, Flo Pendergast had a different idea as well. Why don't we take Irish whiskey and why don't we put it in a heavily charred number 5 cask? And so this is West Cork juice. This is West Cork juice. This is 10-year-old single malt, triple distilled, plus 5-year-old grain. This is a mixture of 7 to 10-year-old single malt, triple distilled, and 4-year-old grain. This has its 6 months finish in a char 5 number barrel. This has I couldn't find information on how long the finish was, but it was finished in a rye whiskey barrel from the Tamwort distilleries in New Hampshire. Kokaura is maybe the brand that you might know the most from them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare the two, and then I'm going to add an extra little tidbit at the end, which I think might be useful for the one or the other out there. Now, Florian Pendergast and Frank Gasse had the idea of doing this, and they founded their own company called Puglist Spirits. And if you type in the word Puglist spirits and whiskey, you'll get hardly anything. I mean, almost nothing. But there is one very, very interesting thing that popped up on my screen by Google, was actually the shipping order for this whiskey to the States. From Birmingham, for some reason, all the way over to New York, New Jersey, New York. 661 cases were in a container. You can actually find the container number online. That's 3,696 bottles were imported to the States. And I just think it's amazing that actually that invoice, that shipping receipt is online for everyone to see. So, going back now to these two fighters. We have a guy named John, John Marasse. He is 23 and a half years old, and we have the so-called James Yankee Sullivan. He was 40 years old on the 12th of October, 1853 in New York City, and they actually fought a fight. Back courtyard, bared knuckles, and what did they do? They went on for, according to this nice little sheet of paper here, 36 rounds. And then finally at the end, wow, my glasses are downstairs. It says here, quick and nimble, Sullivan outpunches Morrissey 5-1, but Morrissey has a freight train punch. After 37 rounds, Morrissey grabs Sullivan by the neck and lifts him off his feet. As fans swarm in the ring, Sullivan swings and knocks Morrissey out cold. But Morrissey is still named the winner, as Sullivan failed to come up to the scratch. Prize whiskey with EY.com. Who knows? All right, let's taste them. I get a very nice rye with a little bit of a spice at the end, which I wouldn't be able to identify immediately. Over here, it's got so much more char, so much more flavor, so much more vanilla, so much more of a caramel. If I were to choose between the two, this is 45 euros, this is 34 euros. This is about $60, this is less than 40, about $40. There's a big difference. Even if you look at the, which I thought was amazing to actually do this, look at the color. So I'm going to try to put the two of them together here. You can actually see the difference here. This is the older whiskey, 10 and 5-year-old. 10-year-old malt, 5-year-old grain. This is the 7 to 10-year-old and the 4-year-old grain. But this is finished in rye barrels. This is finished in a char 5 barrel. And that's where all that flavor and all that color comes from, which is really amazing, amazing feat. All right, let's try it. It's okay. It's got a little bit of a spiciness at the end. That rye does come through at the end. It's not bad if that's what you're looking for. Now, in my German video, I described it as, and I'm going to describe in my English video as well, comes in fairly nice. There's a little bit of the vanilla, there's a little bit of the alcohol, there's a little bit of the wood, but then I get some fruits. I get basically 3 fruits. I get a strawberry, I get a cranberry, cranberry is not right, I get a currant, and I get a peach. But all 3 of these are not yet fully ripened. Sometimes you have an overripe banana, some you have a not yet ripe banana. Sometimes you have an overripe strawberry, and sometimes you have a not yet ripe strawberry. And of these 3 things, the currant, the strawberry, and the peach dominates, but they're not yet ripe. They're just almost maybe a couple weeks, maybe a couple days only off, more like a week or so off from being really, really ripe where you just, And that's what I get here. And it's really interesting that the fruitiness turns into this not yet ripe, and there's a certain astringency as well. The whole time my mouth just pulls out all that saliva out of the cheeks of my mouth. What happens is really interesting is when I dilute it down a little bit, I think it actually gets a tad bit better. At least in my German video, it was a little bit creamier. It was a little bit smoother. It actually did a, with me. So, even on the nose, there's a lot more of that bouquet. It's really, really nice. On Prizefight, Puglist, Floor Pendergast, thank you. The transparency of this bottle is almost perfect. The only thing that's missing, it says, of course, bottled in or by West Cork. I would maybe, if you're allowed to, actually write down also produced. Maybe if you can't say the word West Cork, use the name of the location, Ski Baron, and write that there. And so that we, at least the whiskey geeks, will know where this was made from. The only thing is at the end with the water is a lot more of a disappointment. Without the water, there's the rye again at the end. Interesting. The Flaming Pig, my video has been already hopefully released by now. At least in my German video, I remember giving a C++, B minus minus. So let's go for B minus today. This is going to get a C. This is something you can go find, you can go buy. 60 euros is the problem, at least over here with the, I'm sorry, $60, the 45 euros. I'm going to give it a D for the value for money. I don't think it's worth 45 euros. If it would have been 33 like this, I would have went, hey, winner, winner, chicken dinner. But this just isn't what I wanted to be for that price that I'm getting. So the one last thing I'd like to do, and I mentioned this already, I loved Hyde #1. I've loved some of the hides, and I can't say love-hate relationship. I've been disappointed by some of the others. And this is hide number 7. This is 1893. And the reason I'm showing this right now is because it was also made in West Cork. Before that, they had Cooley juice, but they don't have that at the moment. This was the bottled 04 2018. I have bottle number 1732. And that's really a problem because I didn't like this. And now that I've actually been able to find out more about this typical distillery character of West Cork, I've had the Flaming Pig, I've had now the Prizefight, I now have the Hide. The sherry casks are over dominant, first of all, and then they try to mask something that's actually not the greatest of the aromas and of the tastes of the world. Wrong wood. They used some very, I would actually say virgin oak type of stuff in here. I don't know exactly what wood they really used, but it's triple distilled. And it was actually the sherry cask matured. But before that, wow, that wood that they had, it's just like a very wet, nasty type of bambus. Not my thing at all. Might be the distillery character. I think it has something to do with a little bit of the wood management there. So, WhiskyJason here, Prizefight. I want to say fighter, Prizefight. Solid C. D for the value for money. If you're going to get something from West Cork at the moment, I would actually recommend Flaming Pig. It's actually not that bad. It grows on you, and actually it's a fairly good little bottle here of interesting development. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, please tell the others about this crazy American over in Germany that tastes rare and exotic whiskeys. And also, maybe you've noticed there's been more and more interviews also with English-speaking people. Has to do with the time of the year. I actually go to about 10 different whiskey fairs every year here in Germany, and only the very biggest ones, for example in Frankfurt or Limburg and so on, actually have a lot of English-speaking people that I can interview. Otherwise, all the interviews are in German because I have German representatives and German salespeople there. All right, thank you very much for watching. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, my video reviews come out. Thank you very much. All the best, and bye-bye.